Hello there and welcome back to some more Grand Theft Auto 3. Today we're continuing our Let's Play. This is episode 20. In today's episode we are going to finish off the Staunton Island missions by taking a look at who was ringing on the payphone near Liberty Campus. So yeah, after this all of the Staunton main missions are done. You may notice the A is here on Staunton. Well, that's because that's part of the third act of the game. So I'm doing that separately, purely because otherwise the Staunton block of missions would consist of 2. So let's go ahead and see who's ringing. Bling bling scramble.
This is King Courtney. Me yada posse could do with them rude boy driver and people is saying you the man. Get to the waste ground opposite the stadium in a car and wait for the other hopefuls. I've got been watching checkpoints all over Staunton. First driver to a checkpoint gets the bling bling, then it's on to the next stop. If you get more checkpoints than any other driver, I can have me a little work for you.
You might notice that the subtitles were completely different to what was actually said. I'm assuming the reason for that is because they wanted it to be, well, subtitles to actually work, and usually for subtitles to work you need to understand what's going on, and the way he speaks you can't really understand what's going on, so there you go. Anyways, essentially we've got to get some checkpoints and race these fools. There's a guy in a Patriot, a guy in a Bobcat, and a guy in a Cheetah. Now, we've seen the AI drive all 3 of those vehicles and we know it never ends well. So we'll have to see how well this goes to them. Now, I'm not sure, but I think you are allowed to attack your opponents during this. I'm not 100% sure on that though, but I'm not going to bother because, again, it's basically a case of get more checkpoints than anyone else, which isn't massively difficult. I'll go that way. They're going to come the same way as me, apparently so. The Cheetah has either gotten lost or crashed into something, or both, judging by the fact that there's nowhere to be found. They're probably going to get that checkpoint next, so I'll leave them to do that. So essentially, in case you're curious, this is one of those missions where it's basically a lot like some of the other missions we've seen, such as Smackdown, where the whole point of it is you are designed to capture as many of these as possible, and the more you capture, the more money you get, and essentially your aim with this is to get more than everyone else in this race, which isn't massively difficult. So if you get all 15, you get 15 grand. If you get less than that, you get them in incremental bits of £1,000, but as long as you beat everyone else, you're fine. So there you go. They do have a weird spawning order though, which does make getting all 15 a little bit on the difficult side. I should probably tell by that one, which we're going to say is all lost cause. Can't remember how many we've got. We got a decent amount though, so far I think. Thankfully though, all the AI sort of go for it all at once and smash into each other, so it's made it a little bit easier. It isn't made so much easier when they spawn stuff like that. And now the AI is just confused. Can't really blame them, to be perfectly honest. The Cheetah there. I could have that to have a faster car, but I'm not that bothered. The Groom is plenty enough for me. Of course, one advantage we have is the fact that we know what a shortcut is. So, that's good. Someone charging this way, but it's fine. Which car was charging? Oh, it's the Bobcat. Don't really have to worry about the Bobcat so much. The Patriot you doubt, again, the Cheetah is sort of the only one worth worrying about, and thankfully he usually throws himself into a wall, so that's not too much of an issue. Right. I think this might be the Cheetah in front of us. Yeah, that is the Cheetah. No point in trying to catch that. Alright, cool. So they sort of spawn in weird locations and you don't get an idea of where they're going to spawn next, because they don't actually spawn in order. I guess it does make the mission a little bit more difficult and a little bit more fun, I guess. but eh. Doesn't really bother. It's not a particularly difficult mission, so. And it's not a timed one either, which is worth pointing out. So it's not something like Turismo, where you have to go ahead and get more checkpoints than anyone else. It doesn't really matter. Anyways, we came first with 9 successful checkpoints. Hooray for us. And thankfully, we're right next to the payphone to get our next mission from the ringer in question, which is Uzi Rider.
I need to see if you're capable of doing me dirty work. See if you're family or not, don't you know? Two of my boys will be there any second to take you for a ride. See if you're the article or a sister or something.
Alright, we're waiting for his boys, who are going to show up in the most taunting gang car in the world. It is, of course, the quickest car, strongest car, best car in the game. The fucking Perennial.
We're going for a little ride into Hepburn Heights. Kill me some filthy Diablo boo-boo's been batting up me lady Queen Lizzie. You do the driving and the shooting and the dally and a boot. We'll make sure you don't get cold feet. Here, you'll need a piece.
Whatever you just said, I have no idea. Something about Queen Lizzie. Whoever she happens to be.
Let's drive.
Let's drive, indeed. So yes, you heard him right, we've got to go over to Portland. You know, the place where we're attacked by literally everyone, apart from the Diablos. Which is who they want us to get, so... You know what, actually? I just thought... There's no point of going over the bridge, I'm probably going to get shot by the cartel though, by coming this way. Which might be worse than being shot by triads, but there you go. Right, there we go. There's a reason I've come this way. It's because we're going to go through our old faithful friend, the Portland Tunnel. I say old faithful friend, it's a friend we met last time. One that I said before, and I still agree with this, I'm a very big fan of. I really like the Portland Tunnel. So, oh sorry, the Porter Tunnel. Not the Portland Tunnel. I apologise for been calling it the Portland Tunnel this long. Anyways, yeah, the Porter Tunnel. Essentially, not only can you go to Shoreside Vale from Staunton Island and back again, you can also go to Portland, which is what we are going to do. You might recognise the entrance to the Porter Tunnel in Portland as well. Portland Island is to the right, so let's head over there. There's also a glitch you can do at the start of the game to get access to this tunnel while you're in Portland, but of course I didn't show that off because it's not that difficult to get out of Portland anyway. So, right, there we go. There's a nice little LED board as well which displays crap on top of the like weather and stuff, which is kind of an interesting read, to be honest with you. Anyways, we haven't been here for a while. We've got old Portland Island.
Hepburn Heights. Let's kill me some filthy Diablos. Remember, you in this to the end, man. Hold your corner.
You don't leave this car. I wish I could. The good news is that Diablos don't really care about being shot at. I'm not sure how many we have to kill. But either way, like I said, they're not actually that bothered about being shot at. Ironically, the Diablos, it's a gang which you do attack quite a few times in the game, and they never really seem to retaliate, which is not something I'm going to complain about.
Now get us back to the yard. Go now.
So we're going to go back to Yardy Turf. Look at that. You might think you're high and mighty, but you ain't seen nothing compared to the getaway machine. That is the Perennial. Right. Staunton, go. Jesus Christ. The body lean. It's hardly a spring chicken, the Perennial, but it gets the job done sometimes. What do I keep saying? Suspecting a purple something or other. I mean, it's blue. I have no idea what they're saying. If they're saying a state car, I applaud Rockstar for putting that much effort into naming the thing. If they're saying perennial, I'll be very impressed indeed, although I'm fairly certain. GTA is one of those series where it never really refers to the cars as their actual names. So, something worth pointing out. Anyways, we're back over to the lovely safe zone-ish. That is Staunton Island. Whoa, okay. There are things happening behind me. There we go. I figured I'd get rid of... I probably could have kept them, but just to be on the safe side. You never know when the perennial's just going to decide to give up life.
Okay, you're the kind of man we like as friend now. You're Irie, man. Real shooter.
Whatever you just said. Anyways, we get 10 grand. And I believe some additional Uzi ammo, so... If you ever need an Uzi, I guess you can always do that mission. And fail it over and over again. You know, whatever tickles your pickle. Alright, let's see what he wants now in... Gang Car Roundup.
I want you to steal me some gang cars so we can do some naughty thing on our enemy turf. I want me a Mafia Sentinel, a Yakuza Stinger, and a Diablo Inferno so we can hit up any gang in Liberty. Drop them off at the garage in Newport and hear this. They're no use to me, all broke up now.
Okay, we're gonna steal us some gang cars. We need a Diablo Infernus. Don't laugh too much at the Diablos driving Infernuses. A Mafia Sentinel and a Yakuza Stinger. So, back to Portland we go. I love going to Portland. Don't I, audience? You know how much I love Portland. Ugh. I just get nightmares about the paramedic mission every time I come over here. Right. Either way, again, it lets me go back into the glorious Porter Tunnel again, so that's cool. And I also probably know my way around it a little bit better now, which is always useful. It's always useful to know your way around places. Right. The way to do the Mafia Sentinel. That's the one we're going to target first, because that's the one you're probably all scratching your heads and going, how the fuck are you going to go about doing that? The Mafia have shotguns now. You're correct. They do. Thankfully, there is sort of a way around that. See, what we're gonna do is we are going to not go anywhere fucking near the Mafia's turf. Instead, I'm going to stick to the outskirts of Harwood. I would stumble into Harwood, but the Mafia can actually spawn there occasionally, which it really is not very useful to me. So we're going to see how much the perennial can do of itself, and then I'll probably have to get out and... Yep. So let's run the rest of the way, because we can do better than that piece of shit. And there's our Mafia Sentinel. Steal it right outside Sal's old house. And then simply do the same thing to get out. Apparently the perennial exploded. I didn't realise it'd end up on its roof by doing that, but there you go. Poor perennial. It had such a wonderful life. It was cared for meticulously by its 25 owners. Only 3 of which actually paid money for it. And then burnt it. Right. And there you go. There's a Mafia Sentinel taken out of the Mafia's hands without ever having to see a Mafia member. I, for one, am incredibly happy about that fact, because the last thing I want to deal with is the fucking Mafia. Diablo Sentinel might be Actually, no, Diablo Stallion, there's no spawn point for it, but that one's not too bad on delivery. Just have to stay out of the red light district. Just in case. Basically, as long as I don't get shot at by the Mafia, this mission's pretty easy. There's no time limit, which helps as well. And then just don't drive like a dick. Also, don't get stuck in the garage you're supposed to drop the cars off to. That can happen. When that does happen, you get a wee bit fucked. So, don't just avoid doing that. Try and stop before we smash clean into the back of that van. The pony. Interesting thing to know about this game, the pony is the big van, the Rumpo's the little van, and then they swap that around for every GTA since, so some weirdness for you. We twat. Right, now time to go down this horrifically paved alleyway. A little wanted symbol there. And we took these cars into this nice little garage here. And there we go. There's a Mafia gang car boosted. Right. Next up, we're going to go and get that Stallion. And now I'm going to get the Yakuza Stinger last, because the Yakuza Stinger is a pretty easy one to get to. Right. Portland Bridge. Portland Bridge? Don't... Fucking hell. Callahan Bridge. You figured I'd know the place of the, you know, the sort of the most meaningful landmarks I'd know the name of by now, but yet I don't. Anyways, this one shouldn't be too difficult to get. I'm not too bothered about driving through Chinatown, because Chinatown only has the triads with the pistols, which aren't too much of an issue. So we will just skimp around those. Although we will not go through that alleyway, I'm going to stick to the outskirts, which is the best way to do this, and then sort of hope to catch a Diablo gang car on this side somewhere. There's an Esperanto taxi. I prefer not to drive into Hepburn Heights, but well, looks like we're going to have to. And there's our Diablo Stallion. So let's go ahead, grab that. I'm probably going to have to repaint this one, so do that in mind, because I'm assuming this one's going to get shot at when we try and get it out of here. Could have really used the portal tunnel to get out of here, but I've decided to go through the stupid way. Actually, not that stupid a way. Although I am going to have to drive through one of the biggest triad hotspots. There you go, they're starting to shoot. When he said he didn't want it all banged up, I don't know how much sort of patience he has for that, whether I can sort of get away with it a little bit or not. We'll have to wait and see. I can probably get away with giving him this though, as it is, and we just need to boost the Stinger, and we'll be good. And that will be all grandioso. Come around here. And let's do it. Just drop this car off in the tiny little garage over here. There we go. I almost got trapped in the garage there. And then finally we need to get ourselves the Stinger, which should not be massively difficult. I like how the Lobo has like the most unfitting rims for this type of car. It has those sort of weird Honda rims that quite a few cars in this game get. And of course Yakuza Stinger just spawns near Asuka's pad, so grab them from here. You can grab them from the, of course, from Kenji's casino. You can grab them pretty much anywhere you want. These things show up in a lot of places, so of course you can just grab one from the Yakuza tool if you want to be shot at slightly. It's your choice. Plenty of ways to do it, but the Yakuza Stinger is by far and away the easiest, car to get out of the list you are given. There we go. Put it into here, put it into the garage, and Oop. Fine. Happy now? There we go. And that's all the game cards boosted. Right. Let's head back over to King Courtney and see what he wants us to do next. As you can see, pretty simple missions up there. They're a little bit of a pain just because you have to go back over to Portland, which does take a couple of minutes to get there, but you know, is what it is. You sort of expect the payphone missions to get harder as the game goes on. So, thankfully there's only one here on Staunton, there's not two, like there was in Portland, of course. We had Marty Chonks and El Burro. So, Kingdom Come.
Now hear this. Get your little self over to Bedford Point. There's a stash in an old jalopy and it's quick smart now.
Alright, it's a take two on this mission because I cocked up. You'll see why in a minute. Anyways, we get a pretty strict time limit to go ahead and get to King Courtney's car. He wants that stash very quickly indeed. Yeah, it's quite strict, so you need a car with a decent amount of speed and also a decent amount of knowledge of the city. You can't just get there in a Rhino tank. That will make things difficult because it's not quick enough. Right, try and navigate through the group of people. Goes about as well as it usually does. Right, let's head over to the parking garage in Newport. Right, I am curious. I'm gonna try and do something before this mission starts, because I am not stupid, and I recognise a suspicious sight when I see it. I don't like the look of that van over there. Let's just destroy that, get that out of the way. Alright, good. I've heard you've been a busy boy. Well, I've been a busy girl. I think it's time you witnessed the real power of Spank. Something Catalina. Oh dear. Catalina is here, and she has sent a barrage of pony vans.
Here you go, I got a special delivery. Special delivery. Here you go, I got a press come to daddy. Special delivery. Come to daddy.
And a man who screams, "Come to daddy." Not my idea of fun, but there you go. Right, that's gone a lot better than last time. Oh, that's a spanked up madman as well. There we go. Yeah, you can see why that mission can get a little bit hectic because of all the explosions. I do definitely recommend packing a rocket launcher for that. Also, potentially, you may be able to blow up the vans before they spawn in for the mission. I don't know if you'll be able to do it in the time limit per se, but if you can do that, again, the pony I destroyed does actually spawn madmen out of it, so you do need to be careful. That mission is a hell of a lot easier on PC, where of course you have the selective aiming, where you can sort of run and shoot at the same time, whereas on PS2 you sort of can't do that as well, so yeah, definitely be wary of that. But there you go, and that is all of the Act 2, I'm going to say, or Act 2/3 in the case of Donald Love. That's all the missions for Staunton Island completed. Of course, there's Asuka's missions, but Staunton and Shoreside sort of blend into one, but you get my point. Anyways, in the next episode, I'm going to be taking a look at the rampages here on Staunton Island, so join us for that. Of course, up to episode 26, you're going to be doing the various odd jobs and package finding and so on and so forth for Staunton Island. And then in episode 27, we'll get back on track with the story missions with part 2 of the Asuka missions. So join me for that. Thank you all very much for watching, and until then, farewell.
I can do nothing else but see through you, 'cause I got you one too many times. So baby, stop and say something else that makes you feel okay. What you say, hey, all you seem to think about you.